They'll probably say, where exactly are you going with this? I see you really trying to take it there. Old school flows chew you out, ain't fair. Jordan.
Okay, so we back with my man JC. Basically, you know, I've been hearing a lot about this, you know, the Chapo thing. You know, I mean, I understand this ain't Vlad TV. We don't do none of that self-incriminating, none of that. But it's just, you know, from one moment to the next, like, what was that like? You know what I mean?
Well, I like I said in the past, man. I mean, I don't glorify nothing, but yeah, I knew some big people. You know what I mean? And I was when I was in prison in Mexico, I met some pretty big people. So, you know, as soon as I got out from the feds, the very first time, I flew out to Mexico. It's a little town called El Aguaje. It's in Michoacan, and there's a guy out there. I don't want to say his name, but he was the one that ran that part of Mexico for, you know, Chapo. And we started, you know, working together. And he was, you know, the Sinaloa cartel has always had a really big presence in Chicago. Really big presence over there. And, you know, I was getting smoking deals, you know, and, you know, getting good quality stuff. And I was making big money. And one day, and I was just talking to one of my dudes on the phone yesterday about this. He did time with me in Mexico because he had something to do with the introduction that happened. But one day his own people in Chicago robbed him, and they blamed it on me. You know, they were like, oh, it was that Chicano with all the tattoos. You know, he probably robbed the drop house, blah, blah, blah. So as soon as word got back to me, because my boy from Mexico called me right away, and they were like, yo, they think that you robbed the place. And I was like, what the fuck? Because you don't play with these kind of people like that. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't do it. And I got on the first plane the next day, and I flew out to Guadalajara and then took a bus into Michoacan. And like I said, it's a little ass town next to Apacingan. And I shit you not, man, I was fucking scared, man. I was terrified. I didn't know what I was gonna say. All I knew is that I was gonna go show my face and just plead my case, you know, saying that it wasn't me. So as soon as I got off that bus, man, because it's a little ass town, man. It's ran by, you know, them people, the drug dealers. So as soon as I got off the bus, I took maybe about 3 steps into the street, and two black Suburbans came around the corner and told me to get in. I'll never forget. I see my life flash before my eyes. And I got in the truck, and they took me to the main dude's house. And it's crazy because, like, we pull in and it just looked like a regular garage, just like a regular house. No windows, no nothing. Just, it looked almost like a poor house. Like, it didn't even look like nothing. And as soon as we pulled in, I'll never forget, that motherfucker had those AC units that you're barely starting to see now a couple of years ago, the ones that you hang up on top of the wall. Yeah. That they're really little, but they like cool down fucking rooms like crazy.
Yeah.
That motherfucker already had them back then. So I walk in, and this house is like a fucking mansion inside, you know, garden. He had like 12 maids. All of them were like between 18 and 20, you know, and he was single. He wasn't married or nothing. You know what I mean? Had a bunch of, just a bunch of land, man. And I showed up, you know, and he had a bunch of dudes there with bulletproof vests, you know, AKs, everything, the whole, what you see in the movies, just like that. And you know, I just told him, I was like, look, sir, you know, I didn't steal from you. I didn't take nothing from you. You know, I've been waiting for an opportunity to work with you guys. So, like, I wouldn't want to fuck it up like that. So I just jumped on a plane and just came over here and, you know, wanted to show you that, you know, it is what it is. Man, bro, he hugged me. He was like, you did good. You did fucking good. And then after that whole week, he just drove me around, introduced me to everybody. We went to go eat. We partied. Fucking, he sent me back to Chicago, man. And, man, there was no turning back after that, man. That next part I can't share because that's a part of my book that's coming out. Like, it's like that scene in Scarface where the money starts counting the machine when it goes to VHF the part 2 video.
Yeah. Gotta keep that a secret.
So, yeah, man. It was very extravagant life, man. You know, chinchilla coats and fucking diamond earrings, you know, diamond chains, and, you know, that whole, like, just making money life, man. You know, it was a crazy life. But like I said, you know, I would trade all that, man, to actually just be normal and do what I do now, man. You know, a lot of people think that I'm like a baller now and like I'm doing it big. Nah, you know, I put away every penny. I appreciate every little dollar I make, and you know, I work my ass off for the little that I have, and you know, everything I have, I invested into my company.
That's how you got to do. See, now I notice, like, regardless of what you've been through, I can tell just by talking to you that though you may still have them, because we all have inner demons, like, especially when you're known for doing time. It's like there's a lot of things that, like, that you see that you talk about right now is the stuff that you can tell. But I know, like me, that there's a lot of stuff that you just can't tell. Things you've done, things you've seen, and it's one of those you always got to hold that it within yourself. So already know that off the back. But just seeing what you're doing right now and the fact that you took a negative and veered it towards a positive. A lot of us don't get that chance to bounce back. We get in this mode, and some people never change, and you either end up in prison for life, dead, or, you know, on the street strung out. But that's why I liked your story. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's why I chose to just really say nothing and allow you to really elaborate on your story without, you know, going deep. You know what I mean?
There's just like, it's a little tricky because there's certain parts that I could share because I've shared already before on other channels. There's parts that I can't share because I would be putting myself, my life in danger. And there's other parts that I can't share because it's just, you know, you just never know, man, who could be watching, who could, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just, and especially for people like us, man, that have lived a street life and you know, I did a lot of bad stuff in my time, man. And I think that's one of the main reasons why, like, I give so much now. I give so much to my clients. I give so much to my nonprofit, you know, and sometimes, like, I feel that I don't do enough for my family sometimes, you know, because I give out there, and then I come home and I'm tired, and you know, I'm still trying to learn how to, you know, build a relationship with my girl and my daughter and stuff like that. So it's like, it's a constant battle, man. But it's like I tell everybody, if you sit there and you play the victim your whole fucking life, man, because that's what I did for my whole life, man. You know, I would play the victim when the judge would catch me and they would sentence me. Then I would be like, oh, boo-hoo, like, I was molested as a kid. I got tortured. I got this. I got that. But I wouldn't remember that shit when I was balling, driving the big cars, wearing the chinchilla, the diamonds, popping bottles at the strip club. I wouldn't remember none of that shit. I would only remember it when they would slap the cuffs on me. You know, and that's the thing, is that if you want to be really real and you really want to be a fucking gangster, a G, then you fess up to what you've done, and you fess up to the help that you need, and you do the work to get better, because the mind is just like the muscles in the body. You have to put in the work in order to get better, or else you're never going to get better. You can't be an alcoholic and hang out at fucking bars all day, because eventually you're going to fucking drink. You can't be a sex addict and hang out at the fucking strip club, because eventually you're going to fuck one of the strippers. So it's like, you know, there's certain things that you have to do in order to get better. And, you know, I'm learning that sometimes the hard way with my relationship. You know, we'll fight about the most stupidest shit, but because we like altercation, because we've had it our whole lives, we want to like, you know, beef it up more when it should have been squashed fucking 10 minutes ago. You know, but we like beef, so we want to keep going there. And that's why you'll be mad for 2-3 days, because you just want to keep going at it and keep beefing, because you're used to that shit and you actually think it's fucking normal. It's not. Guess what? It's not fucking normal. Normal people don't live like that. You know, I make a lot of jokes about, you know, how white people do shit and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? There's a lot of people out there that don't know how to have certain things. But I think people that come from the street have a little bit more issues, because in our mind, we are set that we don't deserve certain things, that we don't deserve to have a company, we don't deserve this, we don't deserve that, or we just go to a job our whole lives that we fucking hate and are afraid to jump off, you know, and be somebody, be your own CEO, be your own fucking boss. You know, we're afraid to do that, or go back to school. Oh, I'm too old, I'm too this. Nah, you know, it's never too late to change, man, and it's never too late to ask for help. You never know who's listening or who's willing to give you that hand to pick you up. So, you know, my biggest message, man, to everybody, and especially all the homeboys, all you fucking gangbangers, drug dealers, all you motherfuckers on the street, is that's not the life you want. Guess what? It ends you up in 2 places, dead or in jail, or even worse, cut up in fucking Mexico. You know, there's a better life. Who cares if you're driving an old car? Who cares if at least you're waking up to a woman every day and not waking up next to a fucking grown-ass man in fucking prison, man. You know, and you got to start to value these things, because right now, man, all you see in prison, man, is black and brown, bro. That's all you fucking see. Yeah, there's white dudes in there, but guess what? We're the majority of the population. And we're the majority with a lot of fucking time. And, you know, I always tell people, go to Netflix, watch the 13th, you know, how the prison system was invented, how it started, blah, 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 how these, you know, these laws came into effect with how can a drug dealer get 20 years and a child molester get fucking 5. You know what I mean? So, like, all this shit, people need to start educating themselves, man, to be able to be a voice and actually do, like, some positive shit, man, and actually get out there and start helping brothers stay out of prison. I don't give a fuck if you were my enemy on the street, man. I'll fucking shake your hand, pull you up, and give you a meal the day you get out, man. Because that's who I am today. And, you know, that's what Wrong to Strong stands for, man. And, you know, you went from wrong to strong, man. You changed your life. And that's all that matters, man. Because at the end of the day, we all bleed the same and we all suffer the same, man. You know, so yeah, that's my fucking, you know, my politic talk, man.
You heard it from the man himself, JC. Well, anyways, you know, I ain't gonna take too much of your time. I'm glad and I'm thankful that you allowed me to interview you. I see, like I said, I see you on a few platforms, and I'm sure, like, you know, you might be tired of telling your story, but I think that people on my platform need to hear it and understand. Like it's like I said, I tell people all the time, like, I'm not here to speak against gangs, and I'm not here to preach for gangs. I'm just one of those people that's been through it, done it, and just tell people, if that's a life that you really want, like, you really seeking out that type of life, then by all means do it, but understand the consequences that come along with that life. And bringing you on the channel, and you've been through the gangs and took it further into like the drug trade and all that, and just what you've been through. Because I've did a lot of time, you know what I mean, since juvenile hall on, and did a stretch in prison, like a lot of years flat, over a decade. But after all that, I finally got an understanding exactly what it consists of. But just hearing your story and all the different areas and things that you've been through, like I feel like your story had a lot, would have a greater reach, just due to the fact that you've did a lot more in a vast amount of, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. So that's why I chose to bring your story to the channel. I'm glad that you accepted. But, you know, before we end this, you know, tell everybody about your brand, you know what I mean?
Well, man, if anybody wants to find me, man, I'm on Instagram. It's Wrong to Strong. My YouTube channel is Wrong to Strong. My Facebook is Wrong to Strong. You know, I've pretty much branded myself completely, man. You know, I own Wrong to Strong LLC. I own the logo. I pretty much did everything. That year that I was in prison with all the white people, I learned a lot of shit. So, you know, I was in there with a lot of white collar crimes. So I learned how to do all the LLCs and all that shit. So I pretty much branded my whole shit, and nobody could use it. My name, everything. And now, you know, I got my clothing brand. I'm about to launch my, I had to shut down my t-shirt sales because after that first video went out from Al Prophet, my shit just fucking went bonkers. Like, they were ordering shirts that I didn't even fucking have. And it just created more of a fucking shit. Like, it was just crazy. Like, I couldn't even keep up. So I shut everything down, and I had to have a meeting again and kind of like set everything up, you know. And my sales, I'll start selling my t-shirts again after my competition on August 11th. I'll be up and running again for sales. It's been going good, man. You know, I can't complain, man. You know, it's been going very, very well. Sales are doing good. My brand's doing good. My YouTube is starting to pick up a lot. You know, I'll share a story with you. And you know, I was watching a little bit more of you know, these prison stories, channels and stuff like that. And I was noticing how a lot of the channels that, you know, talk about stabbings and all the bad shit, like, have higher views and like more subscribers. And I was telling my girl, I was like, I got some fucking stories too that I can fucking tell like that, you know what I mean? I got fucking stabbed a bunch of fucking times. I got, you know, but then I had to fight with myself because that's not who I am. That's not who I'm trying to preach, or I'm not walking the walk that I, you know what I mean? I like to walk the walk, man. I like to talk the talk, walk the walk, and preach that positivity of what it is now, like you told me, now, not before. Yeah, I did it, I lived it, blah, blah, but where are you now? Like, not too many people make it to this side of the fence. Some people stay here, some people stay in the middle, and some people don't even make it close to over here. I made it to over here. So, you know, my biggest thing is staying true to myself, my image, my message, and what Wrong to Strong stands for. And that's just change, brother. Doing what every day you have a chance to be better.
Well, you heard it from my boy JC, and if you notice, before we end this recording, he didn't have to talk too much on certain things in order to get his point across. Like, this is not one of those channels where I'm going to try to bring out the darkest aspects of the life, because I lived it already. And I see some channels out here, they try to do that. They want to like instigate it or pressure you into saying something that you really don't need to say. I think your story alone, without putting everything into it and all the dirty little things, was compelling enough to get people to understand exactly where you came from, where you had to get to, and where you're going now. And that's all that matters. Well, I'm about to end it right here. This is our boy JC. If you really want to get that work on in Arizona, oh yeah, before we end it, tell them your next event.
I compete at the Europa in Phoenix, Arizona, August 11th, and my gym is located in 1500 East Thomas Road, Phoenix, Arizona. It's right in the downtown Phoenix. But yeah, if you guys want to come out and see me, I compete August 11th downtown at the Europa Civic Center.
That's right. The real will respect it, and the fake will reject. On that note, we gonna end it.